but I noticed my weight would come back up from when I left from home. Whenever I go home, I lose 7 to 10 pounds and keep it down, and you will see my lean muscle mass. But as soon as I go traveling and we gone for 10 weeks, I would gain 7 to 10 pounds, but I was eating the same thing. So what I did was I said, hold on, even though I'm eating the same thing when I'm out of town, it's something in these ingredients that they cooking in the back of these kitchens that I can't see that's making me gain weight. And what it was the seed oils. When we cut out the seed oils and we stopped eating all fried foods and we made sure we ate only organic, because they would tell you it's organic at these restaurants and they probably not, and they won't tell you what seed oils they're using. Once we kicked out the seed oils, we kicked out fried foods, and we went 100% organic, and we kicked out all of the heavy starches and carbohydrates. That's how I lost weight and been maintaining my weight. That's literally what we've been doing. So 99% of the things I put in my mouth, I'm picking it, I'm growing it, or I'm going and getting it from the organic section, and I'm cooking it myself. I fire my cooks, I fired everybody. I make my own food. I make my own food. Am I lying, I be? We make our own food every single day. And I noticed and I found that to be therapeutic for me too, because not only is it a way for me to meditate,
survive cooking.
Yeah, and I know what I'm putting in my body, and I'm doing these things from scratch, and I'm making my stuff from scratch. So that's what it was. So it really wasn't a motivational part. It was just doing the process of elimination. Why in the hell every time I go out of town, I get bigger? And then, okay, it ain't this, because you're still working out when you out of town. You still doing your breath work. You still maintaining your meditations. You still disciplined. What's the common denominator? Oh, it's the food that I'm eating. Well, you eating the same food. Well, maybe it's how the food is prepared, and maybe it's the origins of where that food is coming from, and that's what it was. So once I started prepping and preparing my own food, I've been maintaining my same weight.
And there's a second part to the question, right? And you explained it, right? But I want you to delve more. Why is it so important for people to constantly reevaluate and update their personal operating system?
You have to. I mean, when you done talking, right, we are biological computers. If we are biological computers, that means we have a biological software. According to any tech, all software need to be what? Updated. If not, it'll get stuck in time, and then the actual environment around that operating system will become too advanced, and then that chip or that program can't keep up with the outside external environment. So it's very, very good to constantly reevaluate yourself and reinvent yourself, should I say, and constantly question yourself and things that you're doing while you're here in this matrix, because it's a grid. We're in a holographic universe. We're in a holographic reality. This is a simulation. You are biological computer chips operating through this simulation. You have to update your information. You have to update your wisdom, your knowledge base. You have to update your knowledge. You have to update your body to keep up with not only society, but keep up with consciousness, because consciousness is forever expanding and growing. And you will get left behind. These are facts. And you walk out on the streets and you see people left behind every day, all day. You see it, and you don't only see it in conversation, you see it in people clothing, what they wearing. You see it in the way people interact with themselves and other people. You see it in the way people communicate. You see it. You see people get left behind every day because they don't look in the mirror and they don't reevaluate themselves to reinvent yourself. You have to constantly reinvent yourself. Everything in nature does it. Everything have a shedding process in nature. Snakes shed their skin, dogs lose their fur. Everybody go through these reinvention or this cocooning phase in their life multiple times before they die. Even your cells go through it. It's called autophagy. Every 120 days, your erythrocytes, or what you'll call red blood cells, die off and renew themselves. The bones, every bone in your body reconstructs itself every 7 years. Every 4 to 7 years, your hair follicle sheds off and you grow new, thicker follicles and strands. The nervous system, every cell in your body reincarnate or reinvent itself to keep up with society, to keep up with the environment that the biological body is in. Why don't you think you need to do that with your mindset? Because by default, every essence of your body do it. But when it comes to mindset, we just stuck in our ways and we want to stay the same. And all of those people end up lonely and dying alone, down by themselves.
Time with doctors to figure out the source of a person's issues seem to be getting shorter and shorter. Ailments or diseases can be caused by a multiplicity of things. How does one identify if a health issue is caused by bad diet, stress, mental issues, or the environment, or other things?
Well, all of it is caused by a bad diet, because your diet is not only what you consume by way of your mouth. You know, if you look at your body is a living organism. So you ingest and digest air, carbon dioxide, through your skin, your environment, signals from your environment you eat, electricity, electrical magnetic fields, EMF frequencies. So even though we eat things for substance like macronutrients and phytonutrients, you still get a lot of different types of signals that come from your external environment and your emotions that plays a very have a large impact on your chemical affinity that's in your blood. And remember last time when we was talking, I was saying like stress releases cortisol in the blood. So I can be in a relationship and we can be arguing with each other, or I can go to work and I don't want to be there, or they working me too hard. And mentally that'll create this state of fight or flight. And that state of fight or flight will release cortisol inside of my bloodstream, or fear can come in the fight or flight, and it can release adrenaline in my system, and that will automatically give me hypertension or raise the hydrostatic pressure, what they call the oncotic pressure of my vessels, and that'll give me blood pressure. Well, blood pressure going unchecked when it's in its high status, it can cause heart attack, stroke. It can cause this very hard dehydration. Sometimes it can cause what you will call aneurysms, all based off of an emotional state of stress that you're getting put in due to the environment or people in the environment. So it just shows you that food is not our only way of eating. We eat with our bodies, just like melanin eats the sun. Carbon melanated beings, they skin eats the sun. You eat air. We eating everything that's in our environment. So we just got to look at it from a standpoint that diet just only don't consist of things that you put in your mouth. It consists of everything that's around you. Your surroundings is your diet.
I'm glad you said that because I come from a history of high blood pressure, right? I'm able to get mine under control. But I noticed it wasn't eating. I was eating good. I had to learn how to manage stress and manage
Yeah.
my thoughts.
Yeah.
So that goes into the diet.
Yeah,
Of
I
the
mean, because you
mind.
got to look at it. I mean, stress is the number one factor of all what they call disease. I don't believe in disease per se. I think disease is an illusion. Everybody know that, but it does lower your hurt. So what stress does is it just dump fight or flight chemistry inside the bloodstream, and that shuts down internal organs. It gunks up the system with metabolic toxins because it shut off your autophagy stages, meaning you cannot detoxify when you're full of stress. Most stressed people don't get any sleep, and when you don't get rest, that means you don't restore. That is actually a four-letter word that's short for restore. Restoration is rest. So you can't get the adequate amount of rest when you stress. Everything. It's some men that come in here and their penis can't even get erected, and then we fix their stress issue, and then they get proper blood flow down to their lower extremities, and then now they can make love to their wife again. And they was thinking that they had all these other issues going on that was making them have low libido, but it was only a stress issue. And once we got rid of the stress, we see that their penis can get hard again. So it wasn't a testosterone issue. It wasn't a zinc and a copper selenium issue. It was all based off of stress and they fear that they had in their environment. So how you respond to your environment and how you communicate with the signals in your environment actually relates to what they will call dis-ease.
And bringing up environments, I have a question. Do you think it's realistic for some people to maintain or keep a healthy stress level in certain environments?
Yeah, I mean, because the whole thing is we need stress. Without stress, we would die. We need stress. Stress makes us evolve. And when I mean by evolve, I don't believe in the evolution theory, the Darwinism theory that we came and evolved from monkeys or nothing like that. At least not our people. I don't believe in that at all. But we do evolve in a sense as we be in the environment for so long and we learn how to adapt to that environment in certain ways. And in order to adapt, you do have to mutate in some way for you can figure out ways to live longer in your environment.